Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is entitled The Time to Harvest. It was written by Brian Sammons, Charles P. Ziglanis, Glenn Owen Barras, and Mike Mason, and it's available on the Chaosium website. Jeff Wilkins is our game master, and this is Chapter 4, Episode 11. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Jeff?
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, so let's see, real quick recap, because it's a little bit fuzzy to me, but in a nutshell, you spent the last episode investigating and exploring the Migo cave system, or tunnels. You managed to find a couple of different rooms that each room seemed to have its own sort of goal or use. One of the things you found, which caused Tug a bit of, actually, and Dr. Drake a bit of sanity, was a room full of specimens. They were suspended in some sort of pinkish goo. And it seemed like they were inanimate, but then when Danny took his flashlight and put it close to one, it reacted, so maybe they are all alive. You didn't hang around that long to find out, though, because things started to get, you started to explore, and you were seeing other creatures that were causing additional sanity loss, so you kind of get out of there. If you don't mind, I think I'm going to try to share that map just in case any of the listeners are watching. It'll give them just a quick, because I know the directions are kind of hard to follow, so maybe just share this once, and then if you guys need it later on, we can bring it back up. But so the gate door, the gate room at the top right, the little X represents the gate or the door that you guys came into that room. And then the little magenta arrows going around, that's the path you guys took. So you went from the gate room into the specimen room. There was apparently Amigo collapsed in the corner there. The center of the room had some sort of large Migo head. You know, it was different than all the others, and a large, like 3 times the size head. Its body seemed to be shriveled to the point where it was probably of no use. And it had all these little tendrils that came down along the floor and went to all the different specimen tanks. Then you went down to the drain, you found the hole in the floor. There was another one of those pits that we talked about before. You hit a storage room, a second storage room. The large room had a big, giant thing hanging from the ceiling that, again, had small tendrils coming down. One of them brushed the cheek of Tug. I think when that happened, Tug's like, look, let's get on with the mission. Let's find Sarah and let's figure out what's going on. So then you went back and you went down to the brain cylinder room. A whole bunch of different cylinders all around the walls, like on shelves, basically. And it just so happened that one of them started to talk to you, and then again, I'm going to probably forget the name, but
I smashed it, yeah.
Yeah, the bottom line was Tug
was it
freaked out.
Trevor?
I think it was Trent, but
Trent.
Not entirely.
Jason Trent.
Yeah, Jason Trent. So that's pretty much, I think, where we ended it, where you took this canister and smashed it on the floor. The pink goo went all over the floor, and a brain kind of just plopped out on the ground. So what to do now?
Obviously, they put people's brains into cylinders. Honestly, we've been in here long enough that I don't think that the doctor. I don't think that we're ever going to find the doctor. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think we might be able to look in a couple more places and at the same time work our way back towards the room with the doors. But I think we should get out of here. We need to come back with more people. Team B. We need some people who know what they're doing. I mean, no offense to Sam, but you know, we're none of us going to be much help if it comes down to a fight with these things.
Well, I guess our next choice then is to keep right, go out the cylinder room door and stay to the right and see where it goes.
I mean, we could always take a short look down the corridor just in case Sarah's somewhere around, but who knows?
Yes, it doesn't help to scout about. I mean, I think we'd never forgive ourselves if we came back and
Yeah, it'd be a bit of a bummer.
We were just yards away from her or something.
All right. Well,
Let's go down the corridor.
Could everybody do a listen roll for me? And in fact, if you want to roll for Rex, you can give him a bonus.
Oh, good success.
Yeah, a regular success.
Okay.
I've rolled a 6.
Nice.
My anxiety has tempered my senses.
Danny, was yours a hard or an extreme or?
Hard.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. So anybody with a hard or better. I think you hear. You think you can hear like something clattering, kind of like metal on metal, coming from that hallway that you're about to go down.
Like the clattering of lobster feet on.
It's as if somebody, like a good analogy would be maybe, you know, in the army they have the metal mess tent trays, the tray. So a metal tray, and it sounds like somebody just took their fork and just set it down on a metal tray.
Well, I'm kind of reckless, so I'm just going to, you know, follow me however far behind you guys want, and I'm going to start down the corridor.
Oh, wait up, Tug. Hang on, wait for us.
I still have.
I don't want to let Tug get too far ahead because he's becoming a little bit unpredictable.
You got a weapon on you, Jasper?
I've just got this here Tommy gun.
Right, okay, you go in front then.
Oh, I've got a lightning gun.
Do you want to swap out your lightning gun for your knife?
I'd do a prop.
Yeah, I've got a Colt and a lightning gun. So
okay.
no, I think I'm gonna have lightning gun and knife.
I think you also had the flashlight, so something's got to.
Oh, that's right.
Use your third arm. That's.
I'll just have Well, I almost do have a third arm. I am Tug. No, I'll hold the lightning gun and the flashlight.
It's not something to boast about if your nickname is Tug, though, is it?
Okay.
Nobody's
Danny, the usual, right? Hey, all right, I like it.
There we go.
Yeah, I'll just be behind Jasper with the pistol out and a flashlight.
You have your flashlight on?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, David, anything to add to that? Or
Well, I have a flashlight on.
flashlight on? Okay. Are you pistol out, or are you just...
No.
Okay, not yet. Not yet, anyway.
Now, you drew in some other corridors. Can we see that there are other corridors up ahead?
Yeah, so I drew those in so that basically all you need, you know, as soon as you turn that corner to look down that hallway, you'll see those hallways leading off. So you don't know what's beyond there, but you'll see the openings in that main hallway.
So when I get to each opening, whichever side it's on, I'm going to stop and peek around the corner.
Okay. So the first one you come to is going to be pointing, it's going to be heading north. It goes maybe, not quite sure. Do a luck roll real quick.
38. That's my luck. Yeah, that's good on my luck.
Okay, good. So your flashlight is like just barely, like it's just at the limits of where the light is kind of penetrating the darkness.
Okay.
And it looks like there's another room further down, further up north.
Do I hear any noise coming from?
No. I will say this, though. I will kind of interrupt you because now that you've moved closer in that hallway, the opening that's like straight in front of you, as your light sort of hits that opening, like the hallway continues a little bit further than what I drew, but it goes a little bit further. And in that, I guess, doorway, it looks like there's a very fine greenish colored mist that's sort of almost like dry ice, you know, how it kind of like drops in a cloud. And so it's sort of like blocking your light and your vision in to see what's beyond it. It's just a very fine mist.
And you say it's sort of glowing green?
It's greenish color. It's just kind of lit up from your flashlight.
Okay.
And then I'll go ahead and add the hallway that's heading to the south, that just seems to go on as far as your flashlight will shine. It just seems to keep going and going.
We could go either way, or we could go forward. I think there's something up here. You see that sort of misty looking door?
Is that where the noise is coming from? Can we tell?
Maybe.
Did somebody
Noises. I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I got an extreme, yeah.
Jasper, I'll say you could probably make an educated guess that it did seem to come from that room.
Otherwise, it would have had to have gone around corners and everything to get to us. That sound.
Yeah,
What is it that you're hearing?
It just sounded like metal on metal, like something clanging against something.
Like in a cafeteria.
Or it could be someone trying to stage a prison riot, but they've only got one bar. Clang.
So
I think in this case, we're more likely to be the prisoners. And now that you mention eating and cafeterias, maybe we should head in the way that the sounds you're hearing aren't.
what if it's our prisoner?
Yeah, if she was a prisoner, she might be trying to attract attention or something.
So I'm going to go forward towards the mist. As I get closer, can I see anything through the mist, or is it like a door?
It's fairly heavy.
I don't think you should just walk into that.
Does it smell?
It smells a little bit like, you know, when you walk into a hospital and you have that like disinfectant smell. You know, it's like not quite bleach. It's like somebody used industrial cleaner and wiped everything down.
It smells like simple green.
It doesn't smell. It's not like that stuff in the dentists that makes your teeth want to go back into your gums. It's not that kind of.
Do I feel at all lightheaded or anything? I want to make sure that it's not like poisonous gas or something.
So, give me a little bit more detail. You're getting close enough that you
I'm thinking that if it's just mist, I'm going to try to go through it and then maybe run right back if it's bad. I'm going to hold my breath.
Tom, does Tug look like he's just going to go walk into it?
Well, he's been kind of reckless the last
Tug,
20 minutes.
By the time you realize that it's not safe, who knows what it will have done to you?
What else can we do?
Just go a different way?
How is Rex reacting to the mist?
He just seems. I'll say that since you probably heard that noise, Rex probably heard it too, and he just seems nervous. He seems antsy, tugging on the leash a little bit.
Jeff, is there any kind of odor that can be detected by those of us who are further back?
I'd say you'd have to probably be within 5 feet of it.
Okay.
Well, I'm not, so.
Okay.
Well, I look over at Danny, and I sort of hold out my hand, like pull me back if something bad happens. You might just pull back my hand.
Okay, let's do it. And Jasper can cover us with a Tommy gun.
All right. So that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself through the mess, open my eyes, and then pull back and see what there was.
Pull back, meaning pull back into the hallway.
Yeah, I'll do it for just a couple seconds, look around, and then come back while holding my breath.
Okay. Okay, you do that. You step through the mist. You have that cool sensation, like
Right.
the air or temperature, maybe it's... So you said you closed your eyes as you close your eyes?
As I went through, yeah, probably. But then I open my eyes and I look around.
Okay, and then you're going to pop back in.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you for a spot hidden.
34. What is my spot hidden? Ooh, can I spend 4 luck?
I think that's appropriate in this.
Okay. I'll spend 4 luck to pass.
Okay, so in a quick glimpse, it was another room. It's a hexagonal shape again. The walls are probably about 10 foot long on each side. So give or take a 50-foot diameter. So fairly large, similar to the brain cylinder sized room that you just came from. There was a table in the middle of the room, like a metal exam table. You saw Sarah laying on the table. Behind her, you saw a Migo looking at you.
Okay. So when I pop back out to the others, I'm just going to I'm going to say to them, it's a medical room. Sarah's in there, and they're doing some sort of operation on her. And I immediately leap back into the room to go for the Miko.
I'll follow you.
I was just gonna say, did you think to let go of Danny's hand, or
I yank loose of his hand if I can.
Okay. You follow anyway.
I run in after him.
Yeah, Jeff, I draw my gun and go in after them too.
And I'm not going to leap on the Miko, but I am going to go around the table with my knife, like to make it back away from her.
Okay. All right. Jasper, same thing, running in?
Yep.
By the way, I'll just mention, sorry to sidetrack at this moment, but you do have Sam is with you, and I'm treating him as just a background character. He's there if you need him. But I happen to think if one of you feels like jumping into his skin, which I thought was appropriate, and if you want to like run him as a sort of a character, feel free to do whatever you want.
Well, I'd volunteer that if the doctor draws a gun and rushes in there, I would think Sam backs him up.
Yeah, he's right behind you, or right in front of you, either one. So pretty much as a group, then you guys all sort of charge in. So I think I have my marching order down. David, you sort of switched to the second. Right, so Sam's kind of the last one in then. You guys burst through. Let's see, who's second? Danny and David. So I'm going to say Tug and Jasper, you don't even necessarily notice this. You kind of rush in, you get to the point where you stop, and you're sort of just like, what's going on? You got your knife out, you got your gun out. And Danny and David, since they're right in front of you, you kind of have to stop just behind them. So as you do so, you look to your right, and there's another Migo just a few feet away from you on the right. and then Sam comes in right behind you, and he notices everything. He notices the meal as well. So there's two meal.
Has Sam got the other Tommy gun?
I remember Jerry gave it to him back at the house.
Yes.
I will
For sure.
say that Sam, I think, feels more comfortable with his pistol. So I'll say he's had the Tommy gun like strapped to his back the whole time. But currently he's been trained, and that's his go-to is this pistol.
So I'm saying to the thing, I'm saying, back away. Do you speak English? And I'm pointing the electric gun at him. I haven't seen the other one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, neither have I, so I'm just covering Tug.
Yeah, okay, so let me go through, because this is all happening quickly. So,
Okay.
yeah, so Jasper, you're just basically hanging back, covering Tug, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Danny and David, since you're kind of even, just want to verify anything different or special you want to do here?
Point my gun at it and be prepared to talk to it, but Tug spoke first.
You're pointing your gun at the one behind the table where Sarah is?
Do I know that there's another one? Because
Yeah,
you didn't
that's
say
what-
that I did.
Yeah, I'm
Biff up.
You and Danny both noticed it.
I noticed it?
Yep.
Oh. In that case, I say, would I be able to... I think I could assume that Tug didn't see it if he's only focused on this one. And
Yeah.
I say, where did you say it was, Jeff? Off to the right?
So,
Tug, there's another one off to the right. And so I'm pointing my gun at it, and if the one that Tug just spoke to doesn't respond immediately, I say, we'd like to talk with you, but we'd like our friend back, unharmed.
okay. All right, so this is all kind of happening simultaneously.
Right.
Tug, when you sort of say that in a threatening manner, you hear that familiar buzzing noise, and it looks like this particular Migo. Well, see, yeah, okay. This particular Migo, it's holding something in its little claws. Looks like it's a silver tube, almost like your flashlight, about the size of your flashlight.
Okay.
And it looks like it's sort of, the little lights on its head are sort of lighting up a little bit. So it looks like it might be trying to communicate with you.
I try thinking at it. Do you understand? We want our friend back.
Okay. Jasper, could you do a spot hidden for me, please? And Tug, could you do a power roll?
Yeah. I think you said before I almost could understand it.
Oh,
The lights.
it's a standard pass.
Okay.
54 out of 70.
I failed by 2 points.
I'll give it to you. It's close enough.
Okay.
Jasper, as Tug is sort of attempting this communication, you're on edge. You've got your tummy. You're like scanning, making sure, and you notice that next to the main table that Sarah's laid out on is a smaller table, and on top of that table, there's a brain canister that you just came from, sitting on the small table. The creature starts to communicate with you, Tug. At first, it sounds like it's just in your head. The voice, in your head is not even, it's the buzzing. You're hearing the buzzing, but you're also now hearing words in your head.
Right.
And it says, please do not hurt us.
They don't want us to hurt them.
Jeff, how did the one on the side react when I addressed it, if at all?
You notice that the same way as you're pointing your pistol at it,
Right.
it's pointing something that kind of looks like a pistol back at you.
I say, all right, let's put our weapons down. And I put mine down first, but slowly. Does it mirror that at all?
It seems to take notice of that, and it then looks around to the rest of the party, who is all heavily armed.
Oh. Then I actually put my gun away and do like this and say, I want to see if she's all right. And am I able to get through people to approach the table where Sarah is? Or is it too crowded?
I'll say just for this moment, it's too crowded, and
Okay.
that Tug is almost right in the middle of this sort of standoff. So,
In that case, when Tug says they don't want us to hurt them, I say, is she unharmed?
okay.
I'm going to go around the table to where the Migo is, so that I'm closer to the Migo, so he can get to the table.
Okay. Then, as soon as there's room, I approach the table.
Okay. Tug, as you come around towards it, it sort of backs away and kind of like is to the farthest north as it can get. Like it's trying to stay away from you.
Right. And I just think to it, I don't want to harm you. We just want our friend back.
The voice now coming through your head is merging with the buzzing noise.
Okay.
So now it's becoming more audible with your ears and not so much your head.
Okay.
So it's as if it's now communicating with you. It's learned what your language is like that quick.
Okay.
And it says,
And the rest of us hear this.
yeah, I think that it's difficult, but it's definitely there. You can hear the words being communicated. So you hear it say, that is a complicated request.
What have you done?
The Migo is, it lifts one of its arms and it just points to the brain canister.
Why?
I look over at Sarah really quick. Is her head open?
It is not.
I'm like, we don't understand. What do you people do? What are you people? What are you creatures doing?
Creature. Would Amico take offense at that?
We're all creatures.
Yeah.
What are you fun guys doing? Well, we know what it's called, so I call it Amigo. I say, what are you Migo doing? And I guess if I'm thinking it and saying it, I'm projecting that we know about your mining. We know about your putting people's heads into canisters and your collection of bugs and your collection of specimens in there. We're confused and we want to know why you're here.
Could I ask everybody to make a Constitution roll?
Yeah. Also want to know why you hurt my little friends, the mole people.
Well, I got a 95 there.
Ooh, okay.
I got a
pass.
I got a 20 out of 60, so a hard pass.
Hard pass.
Hard pass, fail.
Just normal pass for me.
The ones who normal pass, they suddenly get a queasy sensation in their stomach. You know, like kind of like you're nervous or like your stomach's tied in knots, so to speak. Hard pass, you barely notice it. It's like your stomach just gurgled. Jasper, unfortunately, you feel pain. You feel like it's not drop over, fall on the floor pain, but it's like a sharp stabbing pain coming in from your stomach area.
Rex passed, by the way.
Okay, good.
Well, I'm gonna sort of because of the situation. I'm gonna just try and grit my teeth and not show that I'm feeling any pain, because
Okay.
my first instinct is that the Migo are doing this to me. So I'm just going to sort of try and pretend that nothing's happening, even though it's obviously very uncomfortable.
Could you roll a 1d6 for me?
2.
I just sent you a message.
Jeff, is it possible to resist it or ignore it? Like I'm suspecting it's some kind of suggestion or maybe mental manipulation. So am I able to fight it in that way through auto-suggestion, or does it seem as physical as being hit with something like some kind of ray?
So let's say you attempt that. So I'll put you to a PAL roll.
Okay.
We want our friend, and we want to know how to get out of here. We'll leave you alone.
Jeff, I just made it.
Okay. You make this sort of mental attempt to turn it away or overcome it, but it's there. It's more physical.
Okay.
In sort of broken English, it says, we do not want to be harmed. Which part do you want?
Dr. Drake, how is Sarah?
Yep. Yeah, Jeff. Although at this point, when it says that, do I hear it ask Tug which part we want?
Yeah.
I say, can her mind be returned to a body, or is she trapped in there? I point at the canister.
Okay. Danny, you're sort of taking this all in. You're listening to the conversation, and you're also scanning the room again, just making sure there's no other threats. And as you look around, you're seeing remember the specimen containers I told you about? So there's 2 of those in this room. Looks like there's something in them, but it's hard for you to tell unless you get up close. But in addition to that, along the outside walls, there's a couple shelves. And on the shelves, there are smaller tanks, like maybe the size of a 50-gallon fish tank. So there's several of those tanks, maybe like 10 or 15 of those tanks. And again, it looks like there are things floating or suspended in that pinkish goo in the smaller tanks.
I'm gonna move towards either or any of them without making it obvious. I'm kind of, heading straight there, so I'm kind of slowly going to wander towards it to try and see in. I think I'll go for actually the fish tanks first, because I I'm wondering if there's some kind of other Migo, not just other creatures, but maybe, I don't know. I'm going to try and see what's in the fish tanks.
Okay. Just as you start to step aside a little bit to get a better view, you notice that David's put his gun away. Are you reacting at all to that or no?
I've still got my gun in my hand. I don't trust this second one at all because it could shoot us. A lightning bolt could come out of that and kill us in a second. Plus, Danny's thinking right now that we need to prove to this doctor one over there that we're serious about getting Sarah back. So I'm ready to blow this thing's brains out if I can.
Okay.
But I'm not, you know, I think probably the whole time that all this conversation was going on, Danny was like looking at the second one, looking at the conversation, looking at the second one, just almost anticipating an attack.
Mm-hmm.
I realised that David seems to be thinking it's safe. But so I'm no longer standing with the gun. I'm maybe got the gun down at waist.
Okay.
But still kind of ready to, you know.
And I'll say that, Jasper, maybe you have your back to the rest of the party, so you don't see at the moment that they've lowered their weapons.
Well, I think because of this pain in my stomach, I feel like I'm under attack. So I'm definitely keeping my I'm maybe not raising it properly because it's quite heavy and tiring to do, especially with a pain in my stomach. But I've got it sort of 45 degrees, ready to use. Because if I pull the trigger, it's going to go anyway. So.
Rex is like hyper alert. Like you just say the word and he'll jump. He's still currently under your command.
Excellent.
I mean, I'll tell you just now, I'm intent on shooting this thing,
Okay.
but I realise there's a conversation going on and I don't want to stop it happening. I was ready to blast it.
I should say I haven't lowered my weapon. I mean, I've got my weapon ready in case.
Okay.
But I'm telling it that I'm not going to hurt it. It's
Right.
Dr. Drake, what is Sarah's condition?
It sounds like she's in there. But when Tug asked me about that a second time, Jeff, while waiting for it to respond to my question, I do reach down to feel for a pulse. But I am concentrating intently if I need to pick up what it responds, if it responds at all.
Okay. Danny, you notice that the one that you have your weapon fixed on, the one, it has lowered its weapon, but it's not dropped it.
Yeah.
Um,
It will drop it when I shoot it, right enough. But anyway, carry on.
Probably. Dr. Drake, you feel for the pulse. You can't feel anything. But just as that reaction hits you, like, you can't feel a pulse. Like, this is serious.
Yeah, I'm not really expecting to find one, by the way.
Right. You hear from the canister a very metallic sounding groan or whimper almost. It's hard to pinpoint it because it's coming through garbled with this metallic-y, fuzzy.
Right. Relax, Sarah. Everything will be fine. That's an attempted psychology role if it needs to be. You know, mostly I want to. Okay, so when the canister responds before the Migo does,
Mm-hmm.
I give it a hard look and I say, "Well, is it possible to transfer her again?"
And then let me jump back to Tug real quick. Anything you want to add?
I'm like, so you've already done it. He's
It
nodding at me.
Yeah.
How can I tell if it's nodding? I say, well, then, we don't really have any reason to keep you alive.
Yes, we do, Tug. Maybe they can put her back.
Can you put her back?
There's a long pause, and it says, time.
In the same body or a different one?
In her same body. She doesn't want to wake up with somebody else's body.
It might be better than none at all.
Well, if they can put her back in one body, they can put her back in her own body. Put her back in her own body.
Unless the transfer kills the body. And it can only be done with a living host.
It responds with a simple one-word answer, possible.
Then put her back now.
Okay. It responds again with the word time.
What's the problem with time?
How long?
It doesn't know how to communicate time yet.
Right.
Just do it.
Start now.
You will not hurt.
No.
Okay. You see it start to make its way towards Utah, because that's you're kind of like standing right where it needs to be.
I back up a little, but I've got my eyes on it.
Okay. Sorry, Danny, I never got back to you. When you look into that tank, it looks like you're looking at especially now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, well, no, I guess not, because you saw the sleeping one or the unconscious one up close. This is the first time you're seeing one of these creatures up close and awake and alive, and so there's that sort of, you're really getting a good look at this thing. You can see in the tank from, like, I don't know if you would call it an elbow, but one of its segments of its arms is going down, and then it's merging into what looks like a bare paw.
So they're doing transplants. So it's amigo arm with a bear paw. These things are, I so want to shoot this thing. These things are horrible. And this is in the kind of fish tank one.
Yeah.
And as I look across, I'm guessing, or I'm imagining, if I'm not seeing it, that there's going to be another animal part on another creature. What are we doing?
Say that again. I'm sorry, I missed that right.
I'm kind of, even if I can't see it, I'm anticipating that there's going to be other animal bits on different Migo in different tanks or something like that, because they're quite clearly off their alien rockers.
You're pretty sure that in the tank that's next to it, you see what looks like a human foot.
Sanity check. I'm doing everything to resist shooting this other one, because I think we need to convince this thing to get this job done. But at the same time, I don't want to jeopardize. Don't want to jeopardize the we'll call it the doctor one doing its job. Danny's just trying to keep it together. I think that's all,
Okay.
I'm really struggling.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tug.
I'm looking over at Danny and I'm thinking, I say something out loud. I say, Ude uye inkte they under and stay igpe attenley.
I'm like, what?
Oh shit. I thought everybody understood that.
I can speak English 70%.
I think 1920s American college students would definitely understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll need to reveal the esoteric meaning to the modern day player.
In Pig Latin, I was wondering if they could understand what I was saying in Pig Latin, so they wouldn't understand I was about to tell you that we have to kill them when we're done, or they will tell everyone, all of their other people, that we've infiltrated their hive.
Okay, that's a little bit. I'm going to ask you then, do you want to actually say that in Pig Latin? Because otherwise I'll ask you guys to, will the jury please disregard that last one?
Yeah, let's just disregard it because...
Okay. Right. Jasper, do you want to add anything?
They'll read my mind. Yeah.
I am primarily keeping an eye on the one that's operating on her.
Okay.
But I'm every now and then glancing over at the other one.
Yep. So it starts to move closer to Professor or Dr. Sarah. She's on the table. And when it gets closer now, it takes that device that it was holding and it manipulates a few buttons on it. And it's got these little, kind of look like satellite dishes, but small, like maybe
Right.
inch and a half, 2 inch little diameter discs. And there's about 2 or 3 of them on this device. And when it flips the buttons, a few of those discs manipulate and move and align, and it starts to a couple of its appendages come up and grabs Sarah by the shoulders, and it's just getting ready to cut.
Okay, I'm getting very upset and nervous, but I can't quite look. I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at what it's doing.
Okay.
And I'm giving what it's doing my undivided attention to try to learn anything about how this actually works, even though I realize it's probably well beyond our understanding of the human body and mind. I'm still determined to see what there is to see.
Okay. Jasper, I'll pick on you. Can you do an idea roll for me?
12. That would be an extreme success.
Okay. That sensation in your stomach and that little nagging thought in the back of your head that maybe you were being attacked somehow. You see this thing pausing over to Dr. Sarah, just getting ready to cut into her head. Can you trust it? You ready? You ready to just let it go to town on the doctor?
Well, I don't see what else we can do if her brain is in that thing.
Okay.
And our doctor seems to think it is, so
Okay.
I've got no choice.
So, Dr. Drake, you're psychologist, although I'm assuming you have some clear biological training and so forth.
Well, I can tell you how much I have. Apparently, only what a standard layperson would have, other than medicine, which I have 40% knowledge of medicine. I'm assuming only the aspects of it that are either basic or relate to what's thought about psychological function. I was confident I knew how to check a pulse.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just ask you real quick then. This is just simply a, your decision as far as the character. Is your character queasy at all?
Oh. I hadn't thought about that. Let's see here.
Are you a psychologist or a
that,
psychiatrist?
Well, I don't think I'm sure I'm not a psychiatrist, and so if I haven't seen, I have not been to medical college, so unless Jeff has a reason to think Dr. Drake has seen an autopsy or a dissection, then Dr. Drake is probably queasy. Plus, the stomach feeling is physical, so I'm sure Dr. Drake is pretty uncomfortable and has to exert some effort to watch this procedure. Yeah.
Good. All right. So I'm not going to ask you to roll or anything, but I just want, just be aware of that as a character. That's all.
Yeah.
So with that, the creature then braces the Dr. Sarah's head, makes sure it's not moving, and it starts to cut directly into her forehead, going across her forehead. It's opening up a wound. There's very little blood, surprisingly.
Well, I'm not sure I should be surprised by that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Although the surprising part is, like, maybe at least you're thinking, like, well, I don't even know, like, should there be blood or shouldn't there be blood?
I think I'm reassured, but I'm already wondering about the implications that they're putting her mind, alleging that they're putting her mind back, but she's dead. And then I probably think about vampire myths and so forth. But I still think Sarah is better off in a carcass than a canister, so I don't disrupt.
The canister starts talking again, and in that same fuzzy metallic voice, like it's through an old-fashioned speaker, like a little tiny tinny speaker. It says, "What's happening to me? What is going on? I can't see anything."
Sarah, remain calm and
I can't see you.
Listen very closely. You can't see me right now because you're in a different state of consciousness in which your body is inert, but your mind remains awake. Are you able to perceive anything other than my voice?
I feel pressure. Why can't I see you?
Your sensory functions have been suppressed.
As you say that, one of the other arms of the Migo that's doing this operation reaches up and moves towards the canister and flips a switch.
What does that do?
It's now quiet.
I still ask, what does that do?
No talking.
I don't talk anymore.
He turned it off.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think anybody who's watching, I'm going to call for a sanity roll, because you're going to then see the top of Sarah's head be removed completely.
Well, I'm intending to look very closely to see if there's still an actual brain, like a brain in there yet, or whatever is in there, right? I know I have to still make the sanity check. I'm telling you that because I have no idea as a player whether that will make this worse or better, but I realize it might make it different. So, yeah. Here we go.
It's just going to be a 1 or a 2 point loss. It's not a big, like, you guys were pretty much expecting this.
Yeah.
But see it actually, to see somebody cut into someone's head as they're laying on the table, it's a bit much.
Well, I got an 06, but I wasn't really trying to look.
Okay, that's fine.
I passed. What happens then?
Just take 1 point. It's just, off-putting.
Okay.
All right, so what's going to happen now then is that the operation is going to continue, and it does seem to be taking time.
Well, hold on. What's in there? Is it empty, or is there a brain, or
In her skull
in her
part,
head? Yeah, in her skull part.
it's completely empty.
Okay. So that's actually pretty reassuring in a horrible way. So carry on.
I'm going to start sort of expanding my field of view to cover the well, they're not doors, are they? They're just sort of holes, passageways.
Yes, in this particular room, that was the only entrance in and out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just sort of slowly start sort of moving around and repositioning myself. I just realised that I meant to do. Am I still within that 2-minute period, or is that finished now?
I did think of that. I'll say that it's fading.
Okay.
So let's say too that at this point, anybody who is not like directly like Tug maybe or Jasper or even Dr. Drake, that you're now, during the process and the time and all, you're looking around, you're noticing those other specimen tanks with the floating appendages. So you're all aware of that. Jasper, you're kind of looking around the room too. You're taking things in, and it's very much a sense that you're in an operating room. You can see there's like diagrams, like really meticulously drawn diagrams, like pinned to the wall, taped to some of the specimen jars. I was going to say notes, but I think you've gotten to the point where I've mentioned several times you've seen like the scratchings on the doors and such. So I think you're at least aware that that's probably their writing. It's just that it looks like chicken scratches, literally. So it's not necessarily that you can make out anything beyond that. It's notes and there's sketches and detailed drawings of, they're studying, they're learning. So the time starts ticking away. It seems as though that if this creature were going to do something harmful, it probably would have done it by now. The one in the corner is pretty much just not interacting at all. It still is holding its weapon down by its side, but it's basically just been standing there the entire time. Eventually it gets to the point where it reaches for the canister and it goes through pushes a couple buttons, unhooks some cables, and it slowly, gently lifts the brain out of the canister and places it back into her head.
Does the brain look the way a brain should?
Yeah, it's still got that pinkish goo all over it. And the creature doesn't really even make much of an attempt to wipe that away. It just kind of like pops it into her skull.
I keep watching closely.
Okay. So then, again, it just basically just plays out in time here. So after a certain amount of time, I'll just say maybe 20 minutes. So like, relatively speaking, it's probably very quick, considering what all is happening. But eventually this thing is taking its time, seems to be putting everything back together the way it's supposed to be. And eventually it places her skull cap back on and manages to place another layer of, I guess, like the same kind of goo maybe around where it's been cut. And eventually it steps back and it says, done.
Now, how do we get out of here?
Complicated.
That's what you said the last time. How why is it complicated? How do we get out? Where are we? Are we on Earth?
Yes.
Are you going to let us go?
Do not hurt us.
Well, do not hurt us.
Is it safe to wake her up?
Time.
I understand. While we're waiting, will you tell us what you're trying to do here?
Learn.
I'm a scientist too. So is she.
If you could interpret me go body language, you would know that it's trying not to laugh.
But I can't and I don't, right?
Right.
Is Sarah showing any signs of resuscitation? Is she breathing?
That's a great question. You keep watching. You keep watching her intently, like waiting for that. Just a minute ago, she was just a carcass laying on the table. And you're not even entirely sure that this thing has done what it said it was going to do. Like, for all you know, it just put it back. Maybe.
Yeah, it didn't necessarily say it was going to bring her back to life.
Right. So you're waiting and watching and hoping and looking, and suddenly she gasps a little air in, and you see her chest resume breathing.
Okay, grab the girl. We got to find our way out of here.
Let's be sure it's her first.
We just saw him put her brain back in.
We saw him put a brain back in. I look down at the person that looks like Sarah. Does she look like has she opened her eyes yet?
No.
Okay. I motion to Tug to just wait. Let's wait for her to fully wake up.
Didn't you, when you were talking in the canister, didn't you say Dr. Sarah?
Yeah, I did. That doesn't make...
He did respond to you, though. I'll just point that out.
Yeah, I realize that either it's her or for some reason it was prepared to fake being her or just assumed that whoever I thought it was, it should say yes. You know,
Okay.
Unless you think that the doctor would never be paranoid enough to mistrust this, but I think he would after everything we know.
Okay.
Hey, Danny, are you sure that they didn't transfer Jerry's brain into Dr. Drake's head?
Tom, do you really think Jerry would even care this much about the doctor?
Nobody would ask exactly the same question.
I suggest let's get her. We can carry her. You know, we've got our extra man here as well, so we could carry her. I say, what do we do? I'm looking at Tug in the eye and Jasper, if I can, and I say, what do we do? Kind of like with these two.
Right.
The second we leave here, they're going to alert the others.
And so I say to the one in charge, I say, You two should come with us and show us a way out that's safe for us so that we can return to our homes. But while we're waiting for her to wake up fully, why do you put the mines in those canisters?
Safe.
Safe for you to study?
Safe.
Safe from what?
Safe.
All right, take us out of here. We got to go.
All right. What are you doing with Sarah?
Don't alert the others. We're going
Does
to
she,
help.
does she look, has she opened her eyes yet?
She's not opened her eyes. She seems to be breathing, but she seems to be out of it.
I just look, since Tug is getting impatient, I look down at the Sarah person. Are you awake?
No response.
Let's just move on.
She said brain surgery. I'm going to hand my electric gun to Danny, or whoever wants it, and I'm going to pick up Sarah.
Okay.
Like I've done before.
Sure.
Okay.
I won't even make you do a strength roll because I know you can do it.
Right.
And I'm just going to say, I don't see how we can let them alert the others.
We can't. They need to come with us and show us a safe way out.
Well, see if you can convince them. Otherwise,
You understand, I look at the one in charge, you understand that none of us trust you fully, but we also know that you were willing to fix her and that you haven't harmed us yet. We don't want to hurt you, but we can't stay here. We'll starve. I understand that you think it would be safe for us in there, and I point at the canister, but you heard her. None of our minds are prepared for something like that. We would like to talk with you more and understand what you're doing, but you need to show us how we can leave here unharmed. So you need to come with us.
Dr. Drake, can you do a power roll for me?
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I know what it was. Yeah. All right. Well, that's definitely a pass, and it might be a hard pass. Let me see. A 30 out of 75. That's not it's not quite a hard pass, is it? But it's a pass.
I just sent you a message.
Oh.
Okay, Tug, Jasper, and Danny. Tug's got his hands full, so kind of you're. But how do you want to play this out here? Do you want to hold these things at gunpoint, march them out in front of you? Do you want to follow them? How do you want to?
I think we want to send them out in front of us without necessarily threatening to shoot them, but say, like, you go first. Shows how, as David, I think it was the doctor, said, shows out of here. Lead the way.
Yes, I'd agree with that.
It means we can shoot them in the back.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's probably where their shells are. We'd be better off aiming for the soft underbelly, I think. But we need to make it clear to them that if they're worried that we would hurt them, if they're worried that we're a threat, then the easiest way to solve that is to just let us go, and then we won't be there, and they won't be under threat anymore.
Okay. The one that's like has not done anything, it's just been sitting in a corner with its gun down to its side. It's moving very slowly, and it's complying with what you're, like, you motion at it with the gun. It does what you want. It's just doing it slowly. So the two creatures are now basically in front of you. They're getting ready to walk out the front door, or the curtain of mist. Tug, where are you? Do you want to stay behind them? Do you want to bring up the rear?
I'm slightly behind because I've got the girl. So they're there. And as they're walking, I'm going to say where David and Danny can hear me. Jasper can probably hear me too. I just say, this actually doesn't make any sense. If it were us and the enemy had us at gunpoint, wouldn't it be better to lead our people into a trap than to lead us out? Why would they lead us out? They could lead us to a room full of Migo, knowing that we would be then overwhelmed.
I do apologize. I'm sorry. You were saying this out loud?
Yeah, I'm saying it out loud, but I'm saying it quietly.
To
the
Danny?
people closest to me, so Danny and.
Okay.
They wouldn't lead us out. They'd lead us to a whole bunch of Miko.
Maybe these guys just are the scientists.
Well, maybe,
they've not got the take over the world agenda. They've just got want to do experiments.
Jasper, spot hidden, no penalty dice.
If it were me, I would lead the enemy to the troops.
That's an extreme success.
Nice. You notice two things. You notice that the creatures, as they're standing at the door about ready to step through, you notice that, remember the lights I was talking about in their heads?
Mm-hmm.
Their lights are sort of flashing in sync with one another. The other thing is that Dr. Drake is behind the whole group and is sort of distracted.
I look like I'm concentrating intently and pretty oblivious, I think.
What's going on?
But I'm
Jasper?
looking at the one that was the doctor, and I'm concentrating intently.
I'm gonna raise my Tommy gun in the direction of the Dr. Migo, and also sort of nodding towards our doctor and saying, "What's going on here?"
And this is an opportunity for Danny with an electric gun and a normal gun to have a pistol in either direction. One towards our doctor and one towards the Miko, just in case they're taking over his mind.
Bit of an action hero moment.
I look at the doctor one and I say, you use these canisters and specimens for your studies to learn?
Yes.
Does it hurt them?
No.
Now, given that there is an element of mental communication, is there anything I could roll that would suggest to me whether that feels I don't know if you can roll psychology when you're already communicating in this way, but is it possible to?
I'm going to say what you're thinking. There's no way you can roll for that. So you're just going to have to.
Right. I say, will you let these boys go?
Yes.
With the doctor? With her?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Will she be all right when she wakes up?
Yes.
Did you talk with her this way before?
No.
I didn't think so.
Tug, Danny, and Jasper, feel free to jump in during this conversation.
So I look at everybody.
In his head, right?
No, well, this part is out loud.
This is all out loud.
Right. I look at Tug, since Tug was just talking out of character. I look at Tug and I say, they want to make a trade.
I look at Danny and I say, if you see their little light bulbs turn red on their heads, you shoot them.
What does it mean when they turn red, Tug?
They're calling the others.
I look really closely. Are they turning red?
At least that's what I saw that one
right.
night. And they all started flashing in synchronous.
Right.
I'll just, for the description, it's multicolors you're seeing. One of which is red. It's just not.
Right.
What do you mean trade? They want you?
I think they wanted a scientific mind. Sarah wasn't prepared for something like this. I think I'll be all right. I've been under deep hypnosis before.
You're off your rocker, Doctor.
Everyone dies eventually, Danny.
What the hell is going on here?
They've taken over his mind. He's gone insane.
If they had taken over my mind, Danny, I wouldn't need to explain it, would I? If they could do that, they would take over your minds too.
You're coming with us, Doctor.
You want your brain taken out your skull?
I'm fairly sure that's what happens when you die anyway, isn't it?
You're coming with us, Doctor. Don't be silly. Why are they trying to make a deal?
Well, probably because it's obvious that you're prepared to kill as many of them as you need to get out of here alive.
Then why don't they just let us go?
I don't know.
Why don't you just let us go?
Is that the dog that says that?
He's thinking.
Well, he could well be having a conversation with them for all I know. That is entirely possible. He'd be saying, what do you do with all the bones that are left over when you've taken the brain out?
Sent you a message, Tug. Jasper, was that an actual question? Were you expecting a response?
Yes, why don't you let us go?
The response is actually just comes out as complicated.
I think they must have... Well...
You want to leave?
Yes.
Follow.
Okay, so out of game for a wee second, do we still have the plan to take something back with us for Abelard?
You know what? At this point, I just want the hell out of here.
Mm.
And you guys wanted to rescue Sarah. So I've got Sarah. I say, I'm half a mind that I think that we need to kill these things and just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and this crazy doctor's on.
I'm going to roll since Tug is speaking out of character, but the doctor's if here's a good psychologist. I'm going to roll psychology on Tug to see if I can predict that he's thinking about shooting them all right now. That's probably not a very hard roll, but I guess you'd be the judge. I pass. Can I tell that Tug has that homicidal look in his eye?
Well, I've got a girl. I don't have a gun.
Yes, that's why I'm asking about the look in your eye. Because I can't judge it by the fact that you're pointing your gun at them in a menacing fashion.
I am suddenly strongly thinking that we need to kill them all.
You're carrying the doctor, so you can't do that. What you need to be carrying if you wanted to kill them all, you would need a femme fatale.
Sorry. I take out, I slowly in a non-threatening way, Jeff, take out the little box. Who looks like they have a free hand? Oh, probably Sam, right? I hand the box to Sam, and I say, get these boys and the doctor to safety before they change their minds. And look at Sam in a convincing way.
Okay.
You know, with a certain determined intensity.
Okay.
And then back up a little bit from the rest of the group.
Okay.
What is the box?
Well, I don't know, but I'm sure that it will be worthy of study.
I think I was a little bit confused by that too. What box?
The doctor had picked up one of those little boxes from one of the specimen rooms. Not the specimen rooms, the storage rooms. Well, you said I found it when I was looking for something worth taking home. So I'm giving Sam my, Migo souvenir for research purposes.
Okay.
To make it very clear that as far as I'm concerned, this has already been agreed upon, and that I've accepted my fate.
Okay. Yep. Gotcha.
And I just say, let's get out of here. If they're going to show us out of here, let's get out of here then.
Yes, let's get out of here while we still can.
Danny's remembering he's got one pocket full of gold and another one full of silver, so at least it's not a lost cause.
All right, so the creatures start to move forward then. They walk through that curtain of mist. Jasper and Danny, I think, are the next two in line, so you're just going to follow them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Tug, what are you going to do?
Same thing.
Same thing, you're going to follow. And then Sam's going to follow you, Tug, or be next to you. And from what I understand, Dr. Drake is just staying in that room, right?
Yeah. Does the Dr. Migo go with them or stay here?
Both the two, they're both going with them. So you're basically in that room alone now.
So, I just watch them go through the green mist.
Okay.
Danny shouts back, just jump up on the table there. They'll be back with you in a few minutes.
You got my messages there, Tom? I haven't seen any response.
Yes, I did. Okay.
Why did he want to go and do a damn fool thing like that for?
I say back to Danny, maybe I'll talk to you again sometime.
Maybe. So
right.
when we go through that curtain, I take it they don't suddenly scarp her, or do we need to start shooting?
Now they start walking, and when they get to that very first hallway to your left, the one that was just like a long dark corridor, they turn and they start walking down that hallway.
Do they have wings?
Yes, they're very, very small though. They look inefficient, but then again, do they really need them? It's hard to. I apologize if that's coming through my audio.
That's okay.
Okay, so they start walking. Everybody's following. We got a
Yeah.
party. For the sake of the game, George, you got so many names now. George will say that you can just take over Sam for the moment, and we'll just, if we need to worry about stats, we'll get.
What's Sam's last name?
I don't know. Sam Morrison. Okay, so you guys are starting to walk. A period of time goes by where really nobody's saying anything unless you guys want to start talking.
I'm kind of waiting in some kind of trap.
Move faster.
Okay.
Tell me again, Jeff, where are the Migo positioned?
They're in the front.
They're in the
They're
front.
basically, I think they're at gunpoint, right? I think
Yeah.
Jasper.
Okay, so there's, as far as I know, nothing behind us.
Correct.
All right, well, Sam keeps paying attention to see that there isn't.
Okay. All right. So after about 10 minutes of walking, I'm going to ask for Jasper and Danny to do a spot hidden.
Pass.
That's a standard pass.
Okay. As the time drags on, things are quiet. You're all getting more and more self-absorbed into your own thoughts. Like, it just keeps really, it's sinking into your head. Like, what are we doing? And Jasper and Danny, not the one that was doing all the talking, but the other one with the weapon. You notice that every now and then, one of its appendages keeps knocking against the wall. Like like it's walking close along the edge of the hallway, and every now and then it's just kind of like
It's a signal.
hear it.
I know what you're. I know what you're doing. Stop it.
I pull my trigger back on my revolver.
Yeah, as soon as Jasper says that, is it obvious which one he's talking to? Like, is he looking at one of the two?
Yeah, I'll say so.
All right, I point the gun at it. Yeah, what are you doing?
There's no response.
I look closely at it. What does it look like it's doing?
It keeps touching those root things on the wall.
Why are you doing that?
No response.
Does it look like it's doing what he said it's doing?
Not now. He told
Okay.
me.
I keep a close eye on it.
Okay.
And then I keep a close eye on the other one, too. Is it doing anything while we're distracted?
Nope.
Okay.
They're just walking. Okay, so after another long period of time, it's probably, again, it's like time plays out. And I
Are
don't
we
need,
still heading north, by the way?
you actually are heading south, sorry. You exited that one room and you're heading south now.
Oh, right.
Does it feel like we're going lower? Or-
It's actually level, pretty low.
Okay. And is there twisting and turning, or is it just a straight shot? Or
Straight, yeah.
how about side passages?
None.
Okay. Temperature changing?
Nope.
Walls seem the same?
Yep.
Okay.
And then up ahead of you, you now see, and again, you've come across these in the past, so it's not a big surprise, but you see one of those large pits in the floor.
I'm being especially attentive of what they're doing as we approach the pit.
The drain pits or the square pits?
The square pits.
Square pits. Okay.
As I see the pit, my finger is going to be resting on the trigger of my gun.
Okay. These they don't break stride; they just continue walking. So if you remember right, the hallway is basically about 25 feet. The pits are 10 by 10, so you have about a 10-foot walk section to the side that you can walk.
Okay.
So everybody's walking.
Is there any noise coming from the pit?
No. Nope.
Okay.
They wait till Sam and Tug, who are now the last in line, are beyond the edge of the pit.
On the other side of the pit.
The other side.
And when you say they wait, they're at the edge of the pit, the original edge?
Meaning you all as a group have walked past the pit.
Okay, so they have gone, they're still in front of us.
They're still in front of you.
Okay. Yeah.
And just as Sam and Tug walk past the edge of the pit, they suddenly turn and they start to charge you.
Bang, bang, bang.
Charge us? Yeah, shoot them.
Yep. I'm going to fill them full of lead.
I'm carrying
Sarah, so I'm going to just try to quickly step against the wall, holding on to Sarah.
Okay, I would like everybody to do a dex roll because I know everybody's expecting it. It was almost like, everybody knew this. So but I'm just going to ask for a plain old dex roll, no bonuses, no penalties.
I got a 59 out of 70.
Okay, yes.
I got
All right.
54 out of 80.
Nice.
If I assume Sam's dex is pretty high. Well, it doesn't matter because I roll the best roll possible, right? That's a 0-1.
Yeah.
I got a 74 out of 65.
Ooh. That's a fail in my book.
So I could spend 9 points of luck. If allowed.
You have the points to spend?
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll cost you, but I believe it's worth it.
Yeah. I'm going to do it. I feel like I'm going to slip into that pit for a minute.
Yeah.
And
So
it kind of...
They spawn that one with the weapon. It's almost like you and it have had your eyes on each other like the whole time. It's been a staring contest.
Yeah.
So it spun and it was trying to push you into that pit.
Mm-hmm.
Were it not for your luck points, I think it would have succeeded. But with your luck points, I'll say that you managed to just barely push aside its attempt of its arms to push you. So it pushed and then you just redirected its arms to the side. So I'm going to say in that moment, you won't necessarily get a gunshot off right away. So let's do this. So Jasper, you passed. I'll say you can get a gunshot in if you want.
Okay. Well, my finger was on the trigger, so I'm just gonna not a sustained fire, just a short burst.
Okay.
Am I rolling to hit or am I rolling my lethality?
Yeah, let me know what do you get for your lethality was what, 10 or 15?
My lethality was 20.
20? Okay, what did you get for your roll?
I got a 22.
Oof, okay, very close. Okay, you do hit it and it does suffer damage. I'm not going to tell you how much. Tug, you managed to step aside with no issues. You've got the girl though, so you're kind of encumbered.
I'm pinned up against the wall.
Yeah.
If the thing comes between me and the pit, and I'm against the wall, I'm going to use one of my legs to shove it towards the pit. Now, maybe that doesn't happen, but I'm thinking if it at any point it comes between me and the pit, I'm just going to brace myself against the wall and kick really hard.
Okay. So I'll let you basically be like in a ready position for that. Mm-hmm. So if that those play out, you'll have a bonus die to attack for the move. Sam, anything particular you want to do there?
Well, do I get any special benefit for the best dex roll ever, or
For the dex roll?
yeah, the super critical success, or is the benefit just that I definitely don't fall in the pit and die?
Your feet are flat on the ground.
That.
Like, yeah, maybe can I be positioned well enough to get a particularly good shot, or be particularly safe from the pit in the next round?
Or you could get a job as a dancing instructor if we survive.
You experience a moment of pure and true level. And everything else after that is horrible.
I think that's... I'll kind of let you decide, because like you said,
Okay.
that's an awesome roll. So if your
Okay.
intent is you want to shoot, I'll say you're like perfectly lined up to shoot.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Okay.
would be desirable. And does either one of them have a weapon out, or it was just a physical charge?
The one that tried to push Danny has always had its weapon in its hand. It's always just been down at its side, though.
Okay. So I guess I'll be lined up well to shoot that one.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
32 must be a hit for Sam.
Yeah. Do you
I
have
don't
the
know.
normal stats for a pistol?
It's just the standard pistol.
Yeah.
Actually, no, because Jerry always was using a rifle. Oh, but I might have the stats from the doctor's pistol.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Or if any of you else.
I don't think so. Does anybody have a?
Danny, what's your
Pistol.
damage for your pistol?
It's 1d10. It's a Colt revolver. I've got 1d10 plus 2, but if it's a smaller pistol, I would just say 1d10 probably.
So just do a 1d10.
Only 2.
Just to be clear, Jasper, which one were you shooting at? The doctor one or the armed one?
The armed one.
Okay. Okay, it has stumbled. Let's see how badly it stumbles. Not bad enough. It's kind of like right in the middle of you now. It raises the electric gun towards Danny. It fires. Ooh, you are lucky. By 4 points, it misses. You see an electric bolt of blue flash up. It lights up the whole tunnel. But it's like a bolt. It just shoots right past your side. The doctor one turns to face you again, Jasper. And it looks like it's going to try to push you again. I'll let you decide. Do you want to dodge or do you want to try to shoot it? This will be your move.
I'm going to try and dodge.
Okay. Go ahead. Oh, we got Rex too.
Yes. I'll roll for Rex as well. I'll have to make a dex roll for Rex because he hasn't got a dodge. But I'm assuming his dodge and dex are the same. He's good at dodging because dogs are. They do that. So for me, it
All right.
is...
So you haven't rolled yet, right?
No.
So let me ask you. I think. So what would Rex's reaction be to this creature trying to push you? Do you think he would attack?
Actually, yes, I think he would.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
If it's coming at me, yeah. So I'm going to have no choice but to fight.
So I'm going to give you the option. You can still dodge, and I'll give you a bonus for the dodge. Well, we might have to see what happens to Rex.
Well, if Rex is going to attack him, then I mean, if Rex is on the leash, then essentially that means I'm going to have to move towards the creature.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to move towards the creature, then I'm going to let rip over the top. If Rex is biting at sort of, dogs kind of bite at sort of waist level.
Just to give you, so in my mind, you're all sort of within like 10 feet of each other. Like these things just turned, tried to charge you, tried to push you into that pit. So you're all real close quarters at the moment.
Okay. Do you want me to roll for Rex's attack first?
Let me roll. Let me ask, did you roll dodge yet?
I haven't yet, no.
Okay. All right, I was getting a little bit confused. Go ahead. You roll what you want to roll and just let me know what it is.
Okay, well I'm gonna fire.
Fire, okay.
And I have rolled a 7. Yes.
All right.
At last. Not a 97 or an 87, but a 7. Thank goodness.
Okay. Give me a, help me, how does this play out?
Okay. So my idea is that I'm standing my ground as this thing charges me. I let rip with the Tommy gun. And as I'm trying to fire a burst into the upper body of this thing, Rex grabs onto one of its lower limbs and starts shaking the hell out of it, almost trying to pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
Furiously. As
Okay.
it's kind of invaded his and my space.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, all right, hold that thought then. Danny, the one that's coming after you now, it's lining up again to try and give you another shove. What is your dex?
65.
Okay, I'll let you react first.
Is it kind of tried to push me last time? Is it now past me and in the middle of all of this stuff, or is it still kind of on the other side, if you know what I mean?
The way I'm picturing this, it's all happening very quickly. It's all, it tried to push you. You kind of just sidestepped it and redirected it. So now
Right.
the two of you are almost evenly spaced away from the pit, which is only about maybe 5 feet away from you.
I'm gonna let 3 bullets fly.
Okay.
I'll take the penalty dice for the bullets, but we're really close quarters, you know. So I'm aware that, you know, I've just heard the Tommy gun going off and was wondering if I was going to get shot any second, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let 3, because I'm guessing that one has really been going for me.
Yep.
So that'd be easier to shoot anyway.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's good. I'm going to ask for the 3 penalty dice then for each roll.
Sure.
Tug, I heard you, so I think you're ready to react.
Okay, the first one hit, second one missed, and third one missed. So I've only got one bullet hit, and shall I roll damage?
Yep.
Okay, that was a 6 plus 2 is 8 points.
Nice. Okay. Oh, it's attempting to push you again. And again, you sort of just narrowly sidestep it with your gunshots.
Mm-hmm.
Hit it, it's wounded. It staggers a few feet forward. Tug, I'll give you a chance to react then.
Okay. So is it between me and the pit?
I'll say maybe not a direct line, but very, very close.
Okay. Have I put Sarah down yet?
I think that was your intent, so that you described
Right.
to me. So I'll say that it happened.
So if I set Sarah down while they were shooting.
Maybe we'll just say that it was not quite as gentle as you had hoped. Like,
No, I kind of just flopped her to the ground.
Right.
I'm going to try and, I mean, the things are like lobsters. So I'm just going to grab a hold of the mass of it and push it or pull it towards the pit next to me. The intention of throwing it down the pit.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, so do a standard brawl roll. We'll count this as a maneuver.
I got an 11 out of 65.
Wow.
That's an extreme.
Go ahead.
Come on, Doug.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Jeff?
You want to describe it?
Yeah, I just sort of bury my hands into all of the, whatever it is, the carapace of the thing, and I just lean and I throw it into the pit. Was this the scientist or the guy with the gun?
This was the guy with the gun that was after Danny. Yep.
All right. So I fling it in and I say, eat shit. No. All right. So that's done.
Okay.
And I immediately turn towards the other one. But I can't react. That's my...
Yep. Let's see. Sam, what would you like to do? I think...
Can I shoot the other one without hitting Jasper? Or his dog?
Man, that's a tough call. Rex has literally got a hold of one of its legs or arms or whatever appendage you want to call it. Jasper's right up close to it. I'll say that in your judgment, you could shoot. I'm not going to stop you, but if you get a crit fail, you're going to probably
All right, can I take a move action, approach it, and just shoot it point blank in the head?
In the light bulb factory.
Yeah. Preferably in the non-Jasper direction.
What is your dex?
I don't know, but apparently it's honed to critical perfection today.
Yeah, you may have just rolled 1 out of 15 or something.
Yeah, I don't have it handy. What's all right, we'll just play this out.
I was assuming it must be over 50 just by profession, but probably I was assuming it probably was between 50 and 70 in my mind when I imagined Sam before. I don't know what that counts for.
I'm sorry, I lost track. Jasper, what did you just fired, right? You just fired your Tommy gun.
Yep.
And you sidestepped and you hit it, right?
Well, I just kind of stepped towards it, really.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of a mixture of stepping towards it and being sort of tugged towards it by Rex.
It seems like I'd have to go round to the side that Rex isn't on, if I can even get there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's just play this out. So we'll say that Sam, with your high dexterity, you're a trained soldier, you're trained in combat, you're watching this all unfold almost in slow motion, and you see the opening where you do realize you can step in and just, like you say, just get that gun right up close to its flashing little beady head.
Yeah.
And you pull the trigger. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. It was only a 1.
Okay.
Isn't it a point blank though?
It is, but I don't know. I don't think that necessarily refers to damage, but
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
like
Or amigo physiology.
Yeah. So okay. So you pull the trigger The gun goes off. Everybody is pretty much deaf at the moment. Everybody's ears are ringing. The gunshots are creating these bright flashes of light, so the lighting is playing havoc. The gun goes off. You hear the bullet enter the creature's head, and the creature just basically drops to the floor. Rex is still intently shaking its leg and trying to tear its leg apart. Ch4, I'll let you decide what you want to do next.
I'm going to give Rex his off command, which I guess is a dog handling roll.
Be careful you don't set off love if you do.
And I rolled 56 out of 40, so I was unsuccessful there. So I'm now involved in a bit of a struggle.
Ch4,
Grab his collar and sort of.
All right. If I can still act as this unfolds, if I see Ch4 can't quite control the dog, I'm going to try to tear its leg off with the dog, right? So
the same leg that the dog is?
Well, if the dog can't seem to get it off because it's firmly attached, I'm gonna try to give it a yank if I can.
All right, Tug, what would you like to do?
I say to Danny, make sure that thing isn't coming up the thing that I just threw it in. They can fly. Maybe fire a couple shots down there.
Yeah, train the gun down there as he's saying that, and I say, "You saved my life again, Tug."
Danny, you have to get a little dangerously close to the edge to look. You're okay with that?
Yeah, I can just kind of lean over a little bit.
Okay. You do not see anything. It's pretty far down. The light only goes so far until it just sort of fades out into blackness.
I think we're okay.
Well, okay, but now we got to get out of here. I go back over and I pick up Sarah. Is she waking up at all?
No, she's pretty much out of it.
Right. I hoist her back up. Where the hell are we going to go? I knew this was going to be a trap of some sort.
Should we go back and kill a lot of them in that room?
Jeff, if I can't get the leg off, I just try to pick the whole thing up if I'm strong enough.
Well, I think at the moment Rex has still got a good hold on it. So
Okay.
Is it dead?
It seems to be dead. It's not moving.
It's probably not going to last more than a couple of minutes before it starts to dissolve.
Okay. Anything you want to do else, Ch4? Or just kind of you tried, right? That was.
Yeah, I'm just at the moment. I'm going to resort to just sort of grabbing him by the collar and trying to choke him off. That'll take probably a couple of rounds, I'd imagine.
Do you know what we have to do? The only thing I can think of is we have to follow this corridor back the way we came and get back to that gate room and go through one of those doors that leads outside.
I think you're right. We've no idea where they were leading us.
They'll be waiting for us.
I mean, we might go to Pyramid Land, but it's better than being inside here.
Another thing
almost anywhere is better. Jeff, does Sam have a knife?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
All right, I'm going to cut the rest of the leg off. What we don't want is Ch4 spending who knows how many minutes fighting with his dog over a leg that may or may not dissolve when detached. So hack until the leg comes off.
Okay.
Okay, so now I've got a dog that's walking around with a Migo leg in its mouth.
But it sticks out like this, and every time we do
it's rattling about.
That is going to freak the hell out of the Migo if we see them, though.
If Sarah wakes up and we ever get out of here, she'll have another sample.
You know what, guys? If we just leave them and go back, then you know what's going to happen when we get back to the house. It's all smashed up. They're going to attack us.
We need to get back to Abelard.
You know, I've got an idea.
What is it,
Set a
Jasper?
dog on him.
Well, I mean, a couple of you brought grenades, didn't you?
We should all have one.
I've got one.
So I don't know how you feel about this because we're meant to be getting evidence, but if we went through those gates back to where we came in, we could blow up the gates.
We could toss a grenade
They
as we
wouldn't be able to-
as we leave.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
wouldn't
think
be
it
able
matters what we do here.
to come
It just
back.
matters if we get out of here. We'll call Team B if we can. Avalar to send more people, or we won't. Either way. The best thing we can do is get out of here alive. I wouldn't mind taking a few of them with me, of course.
Let's go. Let's stop talking about it. We got to get out of here. I start going back down the corridor where we came, carrying Sarah.
Yeah, me too.
Since Sam, as long as I see that the guys are making haste, Jeff, I bring up the rear again and make sure nothing comes back up out of the pit. That's my main concern. It's going to fly back up.
I'm going to follow after them every now and then, just saying, drop it.
Right. Rex has kind of a little prance to his step, like he's proud, like got a prize.
It's parading.
Yeah.
Bury it in the yard.
All right. So if I understood that little conversation, you guys are headed back to the gate room?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
As long as we don't make a wrong turn.
Jeff, can I reload? I mean, I think I probably only have 3 shots if this has 6.
That's fine. All right. I'm just trying to, because I lost track of time and we're at the end, but I'm wondering, could I ask everybody to do a luck roll?
18.
23.
52.
0-2.
Ooh.
3 passes or 4?
Pass.
Mine was a pass.
I must have passed unless Sam spent a lot of luck as an NPC.
Okay. What did you roll again? I'm sorry.
18.
18. Yeah, that's a pass. Okay. If it's okay with you guys, I'd like to just go a little bit longer on time. Is that all right?
Okay.
All right. So the intent is you're headed back to the gate room. You're headed back to the door that you came through, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You managed to retrace your steps. You get to the one hallway that went long ways, east to west.
Okay.
And I think you described that pretty much both ways that you looked just seemed to go on forever in both directions. So you get to that hallway. You're just about ready to turn and go into the small hallway that leads you right into the gate room. And you think you hear noises coming from the eastern side
Of the room?
of that real long hallway. So something is down at the end of that hallway. Time is of the essence.
Okay.
Let's
we
go.
quickly go right back into the gate room.
Yeah.
You get to the gate room. You look at the door that you came through. You know what? I'm going to ask you again. Could everybody do a luck roll? Just give me a pass or fail.
Definitely pass. 0-5.
Pass.
Pass.
Okay. You arrive to the gate. You look, and there's a little bit of hesitation because, number one, there's nothing that says this gate is not going to change midway as somebody's jumping through it.
Right.
If you were to take more time to study the timing, you'd have to wait for it to cycle. But that's going to take time. So is everybody willing to just risk it and jump?
What does it look like it goes right now?
To the best of your ability, I mean, there's really it's very nondescript. It's I don't recall anybody ever saying they left marks or anything. But it looks like it could be the same hallway that you came through.
What time of day would it be outside right now?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that now because I've been intentionally trying to be vague about it. So at this point, I'll say one of you has a watch. You check your watch. It's about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
4 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around there. It's going to be dark outside. I'm hoping we've seen at least one gate open to an outside venue with pyramids where Jasper went, where Cherry went.
Mm-hmm.
If we see another outside venue, but it looks like it's in the middle of the night, it might be just outside somewhere. I mean, as long as it doesn't have like two moons up in the sky and...
If when it looks like the Tug and the guys are pausing to think about it, I attend back to see if anything is coming up behind us.
You hear something. Seems like it's getting closer.
Getting closer. I'm ready to shoot it.
Now there were two ways out. We came through the specimens room, but if we went out that north thing, well, I can see on the map that you drew.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we realize it goes into that same corridor.
Yep, that's fine.
I'm thinking that if we need to, we could step back out into that corridor and throw a grenade towards whatever is coming. I assume it's going to be a bunch of Miko.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What do you?
I'm
guys
saying okay. I'm not agreeing that it's a
right.
bunch of.
Right.
I don't know how many there will be, but
let's wait a moment to see if this thing cycles so that we can see where to go. And if anything, you know what? I will stand. I'm holding Sarah. Somebody needs to stand in that corridor, and if the Migo are coming, then throw a grenade.
I'll watch the rear. I get a grenade ready in my offhand.
Danny and Jasper, could you each do an idea roll?
I'm also not making the decision. You guys can make the decision as to what we do.
You're muted still, Jasper.
Standing here is a decision. Are they changing?
Yeah, success.
Success.
Also a success.
Okay, the two idea rolls. I tried to insinuate it before. You don't know when this door might close, and you don't know when it might open again. Are you sure you want to let Tug make the decision to stay?
I'm going through.
Okay.
See as we leap in and I shout to Tug, go, go, go. Can we actually see into the circular room, the Migo room?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you guys going back to the door that we came in to get to this gate room?
Yeah.
Right,
I'm lobbing a grenade in the specimen room before I jump in.
Wow. Okay.
All right, and as soon as I see them go, I go last, but I go right behind Tug. But I do try to pay some attention to see if anything is coming right behind us. Then I see Danny throw the grenade, and I just focus more on just getting away, through and away.
Just to be clear then, are you going through last, or is Danny going through last?
I don't know. Does Danny hesitate to throw the grenade, or does he just try to throw it past my face?
No, I don't think I'd throw a grenade at you. So I would be happy to. So
if I see you hesitate, I say, don't get separated, stay together, and actually probably give Danny a shove through the gate.
All right, so Sam's going through last. Give me a dice roll.
Is it D10 or what? Or 100?
Yeah, 100.
55. I hope that wasn't the wrong side of 50.
You guys all make the leap of faith. You jump through. You are back in the hallway that you were originally in. You turn around behind you, Sam, as you look, just to see the door shut behind you and change viewpoints.
Where's it looking now?
You're looking back to a view of... Everything is very pitch black and dark. You're looking out on, again, what kind of looks like a rough mountainous landscape. There seems to be no plants. But it looks like there's quite a bit of dark black water flowing across the surface.
Is there a sky?
It's completely dark. You think you see stars.
Hey, it's nighttime back here. No pyramids, a lot of water.
All right, so I think with that, we'll end it. We'll end it there.
All right.
Danny didn't even get the satisfaction of hearing the grenade explode. Although, you can, yeah, maybe down that hallway, you think you hear a low rumble.
So we moved to some other part of the complex. The grenade was somewhere down the corridor. All right. Our players included Mick Swan, George C., Ken Trench, and myself, with Ch4 as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing up to 5 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our show free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with our show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. And follow us on Twitter at ITD Podcast. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.